just Milagros asked about the unaccompanied minors, as you heard, and I was in a meeting this morning in which I happened to hear that Montgomery County Public Schools has received approximately 70 students just in the last few weeks who they believe are in this situation. And as I shared, the county has some experience with this, having had 2 waves just in the last 14 years or so. And so there is an infrastructure in place with a lot of lessons learned. And we are working with the county executive, our Montgomery County Public Schools, Department of Health and Human Services, and community-based organizations to ensure that we provide as much of a social safety net as we can for children and youth that are fleeing violence and coming to our community seeking assistance.
If I may add, because I actually have something to add on this point. So we actually in the process, I know Health and Human Services through Director Dr. Raymond Kroll and Joanne Barnes, the Chief of Children, Youth, and Families, have been doing a lot of prep work in advance of this. We actually are in the process of trying to schedule a call with FEMA and the federal HHS Office of Refugee Resettlement around receiving unaccompanied minors into Montgomery County. We actually reached out to the feds in this case and have offered our support, and they're going to take it. I think they're going to take us up on the offer, but they're going to schedule a call with us first to discuss.
Thank you, Dr. Stoddard. There will be any budget for that? How are you going to receive the children? Is going to be a pressure on the county?
That's part of the conversation why FEMA is involved, because FEMA is actually supporting financially some of the jurisdictions that do receive some of these unaccompanied minors. And so we're going to have, that's part of the conversation we're having with them is sort of what federal support is available. You know, we're willing to do the work, but obviously any sort of financial support the federal government can offer us to do the work would be appreciated. And so that's part of the conversation we're having with them.
Mm-hmm. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Milagros. Our next question is Kevin Lewis from WJLA on high school graduations. Go ahead, Kevin.
Hi, good morning to all of you. So with high school graduations 2 months away or so, I know the county put out a list of recommendations to keep graduation safe. Either Council President or Vice President or Dr. Stoddard, could you weigh in on where that stands and kind of the best path forward?
Wasn't sure which obviously there's a Board of Health. Yeah, do you want to, Council President, do you want to?
Sure. Yeah, the proposed Board of Health regulation will be taking up at 10:30 tomorrow, Kevin. I'm not sure I heard the whole question. You faded out for a second, but it's in our packet. The detailed guidance is on page 4, and the proposed one is begins on page 7. But
okay, and sorry if my connection cut out. For parents in Montgomery County that are wondering what graduation will look like, can they count on some level of in-person graduation this year?
I'm pretty confident that we're going to pass this proposed regulation as we have the previous 3. Everyone knows how important this is, and we're confident in our public health team. The numbers that were shared earlier indicate that we're on the right track, and I think this isn't any different than the previous regulations. I'm pretty confident that the council will pass it tomorrow.
And in terms of recommendations, I saw in the list of kind of rules, the bullet points, that y'all weren't saying indoors not doable, that there would be added criteria. Is the council recommending, as the sitting Board of Health, to do it outside just because it's simpler and possibly safer?
Both are allowed, but do we have a recommendation, Dr. Stoddard?
Oh, yeah. And if you can do something, I think the state of Washington has a really great campaign that they just launched this week called Take It Outside. Basically, any event that you can hold outside is safer than any event that any comparable event that you would hold inside. So yes, we are encouraging people to do outdoor. And number one, some of the larger venues to hold a graduation style event will be stadiums that are outdoors. And so we've certainly encouraged, we've met with MCPS multiple times. We're meeting with the non-public schools as well to discuss this. But the point is, anything you can do outside, we greatly want to encourage people to do it outside. And it's certainly, there are going to have to be some real checks and balances around bottlenecks, particularly when you move it indoors.
And just one last question on just the topic of high school and the school year coming to a close. When it comes to prom or senior day in place of a prom, is the county council going to provide any recommendations, or the county itself, on either of those annual high school traditions?
Dr. Stoddard?
We have not, actually, we haven't had anyone come to us, but let me rephrase that. I'm not aware of anyone coming to us and asking us about a prom or other senior day events. Certainly it has not come up in our conversations with MCPS, at least the ones that I've been participating in. We certainly would be, we're really taking the posture that we'd really like to work with people to see how we can hold safe events. We're not starting from the position of absolutely not, never. And so it just hasn't come to us as an inquiry, but I mean, perhaps it has at some level, but I haven't seen it, nor, like I said, we'd like to try and work with people to hold events if they can be done safely.
All right, thank you very much.
And Kevin, if you're doing a story on this, I didn't mention all this earlier, but there's a lot of good thought that Dr. Stoddard and Dr. Kroll and Dr. Gales have put into the proposed regulation, not just the limitations, the 25% and 50% that I mentioned earlier, but that they no more than 10 persons on the stage at one time, ceremony lasting no longer than 2 hours, maintaining a list of everyone who attended for 30 days to enable contact tracing, and many other details in there. So a lot of thought went into this, and I would want your viewers to take a look at it, because or to watch the discussion tomorrow, because I think they can be assured that we're doing everything possible to keep everyone safe.
And I'll just add very quickly, Mr. Council President, that it is virtually identical to the framework in the District of Columbia. And so it's great to have a regional approach for graduations, because as we know, many students, particularly within independent schools, may reside in one part of the community, but go to school in a different part of the community. And so we are working on ensuring consistency in this and a variety of other areas in coordination with other local jurisdictions.